Hello, class. Today we will be learning about the anatomy of a bookworm. I stole this idea from Jimmy Fallon. You know, all like the late show hosts that are having their kids write the titles. I thought, why not try it? Late night shows from home are something else, man. I'm losing my respect for the medium more slowly every day, although I did enjoy the thing they did from Dear Evan Hansen. That was pretty darn good. High five, James Corden! Today we are going to be discussing the anatomy of a bookworm. This bookworm comes in many forms. It can be the bookworm you know at school who sits on a bench during luncheon and reads a steamy romance. It could be the bookworm who has no friends and stays at home, just like every cliché. She's probably brunette and is pretty, but doesn't know it. The first thing you need when creating a bookworm is obviously a book. You see that my hands are empty, and here is why, watcher. Here is why. Books come in all shapes and sizes. You have physical books, you have audiobooks, you have the books that come on CDs, which I guess are technically audiobooks, but they go in your car, so you can listen to them on road trips with your family books. You have books on MP3 players, also audiobooks. You have e-books. E-books, much healthier outlet than e-cigs. I'm going to cut that. You need a lot of books if you're a bookworm, but here's the misconception. You do not need to own a lot of books if you are a bookworm. Bookworms get their books from all different sources. They can own them, they can buy them new or secondhand or used in a good condition or bad. They can get them online or in person, probably online considering the circumstances. They can borrow from a friend. They can go to a library. They can rob a library. Please don't do that. The second thing you need to be a bookworm and to understand the anatomy of what really makes a bookworm is as follows. It will take the form of something like this. This is something they call a thermos. Now, not every bookworm will drink tea or coffee, but I bet you a lot of them do because they're very, very nice things to pair with a novel. Kind of like how you pair like certain Merlots with cheeses. At least that's what my mom does. You pair certain types of tea with certain types of books. I have a video on that. I'll link it above. Whether in your thermos you have coffee, tea, apple cider, frappuccino, smoothie, mango lassi, chai, that's a type of tea, hot chocolate, did I say that? It's likely going to be around you at all times when you are reading a book. This is a key attribute of the bookworm class. Please take notes. Notice how there is some residue from tea spills on the lid. It's not too bad, but it will get bad over time. That is because the bookworm often forgets to do the dishes, so ends up reusing the same thermos for 2 weeks. Also, please notice how it is empty. The bookworm is constantly making trips back to their kitchen to refill their thermos with a beverage of their choice. But the problem is, to do that, they often have to put the book down, and it's just a difficult conundrum. Alright, on the dorsal side of the bookworm, you can find, often, a candle. This candle will smell differently for every bookworm, and it will tell you a little bit about them and their personality. For example, let's take Maya, the bookworm. Her candle is called Candied Pecans, and look at how evenly it has burned. You see, Maya did not know that candles have a burning memory, and if you do not let them burn the entire circumference or area, or circumference, definitely circumference, then they will burn little holes and craters. So unfortunately, most of this candle is probably not going to be able to be used. There are 4 main types of candles. The first is the spring-themed candle. Think florals, think honey, think just light and fluffy things. This reader is likely into romance. Following the spring reader, we have the summer reader. The summer reader's candles will often be fruity. We've got cherries, folks. We've got peaches and oranges and bananas. All the fruits you can possibly think of in a soybean casing, yeah. Then you have the type of reader that I am, which is an autumn reader. Autumn readers will likely have autumn-themed candles, whether this is candied pecan or autumn leaves or pumpkin. Pumpkin's a big one. Yes, these readers are the cozy type of readers. They like books that will make them happy, but also that will make them think. Lastly, you've got the winter readers. The winter readers candle will often be red, white, or green, or blue and yellow if they are Jewish, like moi. These candles will smell faintly of gingerbread with a hint of hand-knitted sweaters, perhaps a dash of hot chocolate here or there, some sugar cookies everywhere, some candy canes galore, some reindeer noses out the door. Winter readers are very deceptive. You see, their smells of their candles are very light-hearted, but really, winter readers enjoy dark fantasy, horror, and all things suspicious. Can you do the one eyebrow thing? Gosh. Cornelia, if you're watching, can you please teach me? My friend Cornelia can do the eyebrow thing so well, and I can't do it. We've covered the 3 main points of the anatomy of a book reader. Now we need to get into the specifics of its habitat and how its physical form is well suited to said habitat. Allow me to introduce you to the natural habitat of a bookworm. This bookworm likes to sit crisscross applesauce on this here chair, but sometimes her feet will fall asleep. So then she will put them over the top of the armrest, which is probably bad for the chair. Their TBR pile will be stacked high, and they might have a bookmark or a bunch of receipts. It depends on the day. But do not be fooled into thinking that this is the only habitat of a bookworm. You see, the bookworm has this fascinating capability to read practically anywhere. For instance, consider the messy desk where a reader can take notes and annotate their favorite books. A corner of the room where the heat vent is, where the reader will be supremely warm when it unconventionally starts to rain and snow in May. We love Colorado weather. And then, of course, there is the toilet, the reader's favorite place to read and escape humans, all in one. Strung from the scapula of the bookworm, you will likely find a giant backpack filled with novels. The backpack will likely be old and ratty, or it will be a bag that says, "Go away, I am reading." It depends on whether or not the person goes to local bookstores or Barnes & Noble. Both very valid options. Now, there is a bit of a niche branch of the bookworm, and that is the booktuber. The booktuber is just like the bookworm, but they talk to cameras for hours on end and pretend that they are people. I suppose you could say that the booktuber is the bookworm that has gone a bit delusional. Something fun to note about the booktuber is they will likely have a shelf that resembles something like this. It's color-coded, it's neat, it's organized, it's wonderful. It probably has a letterboard that says something like, "Today I'd like to sit and read." But in reality, their family bookshelf will resemble something like this. Not organized whatsoever, with tiny rocking chairs hidden among the children's books. Llama holiday drama. We've also got a hair tie and one of those marble things you got for being good in the 3rd grade from the treasure chest, and a teddy bear. Hello. Now, you will also likely find an interesting colored pair of socks on the bookworm's feet. The bookworm is an inherently cozy creature, and thus they like to have moose slippers that they got at the Rocky Mountain National Park on at all times. They're probably very fluffy, very hot in the summer, and not warm enough in the winter. They're very good for scaring away prey with their antlers. They just come charging right at you. And then the bookworm is free to enjoy the rest of the day in peace. Now, where the phalanges can be found on an average human, the bookworm often has the Goodreads app, where she finds out what books Susan, Charlotte, and Susan and Kat and Charlotte want to read. This is where the book nerd gets all of his, her, or their information on what books they should read, what books they should avoid at all costs, and what book should be next on their TBR. The last thing you should know if you encounter a bookworm or have suspicions that you yourself are one. Here is what you need to keep in mind. First of all, never ask your newly found bookworm to put aside their novel for real life. Escapism is a main ideology that most bookworms share. Thus, trying to strip them of it is like taking candy canes away from Buddy the Elf. It's just entirely pointless, and you should not attempt it if you value your hands. Moreover, do not tell the bookworm you encounter in the wild the movie was better than the book. You will receive a giant tirade of ranting, and unless you have 3 hours of your day cleared to listen to someone moan and groan about the casting choices, I'd advise you keep your opinions in your heart and do not share them with your new bookworm buddy. You are a nerd, and nobody likes you. You're a nerd. Credits to my 6th grade social studies teacher who sang us that song every day just to remind us that we were nerds and nobody liked us. It's a very to-the-point song, and if you're ever unsure of the fact of whether or not you are a nerd, I suggest you sing it in the shower for 5 minutes and you will be just fine.
Now we have to be quiet so not as to wake him.
But the bookworm and the Funko Pop engage in a fascinating symbiotic relationship. As the reader reads quietly in their corner, the Pop Funko thingamajigger judges said reader with these black soulless eyes so that the reader feels compelled to read just one more chapter. Likewise, the reader provides the Funko Pop thing with a shelf to sit on so it does not have to be in a box any longer. All right, class, thank you for tuning into the anatomy of a bookworm. Jimmy Fallon, my signs were better than yours. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Of course, every bookworm is different, but we're all united by the fact that we love to find refuge in stories and places we've never been before, and we're real adventurers at heart. I'm so grateful for all of the people who read in my life, and for those who don't, because I have a personal mission to change their vendetta against the printed word. It will happen one day. I will take down Netflix. No, I won't, because the half of it is on Netflix, and I think I've already said this. Go watch it now. ASAP pronto, LOL. I will see you all on Thursday, and have a wonderful rest of your week. If this is your last week of school, as it is mine, good luck on your finals. Bye-bye.